Yeah, we definitely had a unique kind of role being Chinese speaking missionaries because number one, I mean, we always lived in the cities, in the bigger cities in the mission, mainly because a lot of the investigators that we taught, of a lot of the Chinese people that we met were students that were foreign exchange students. There were some people that were, immigrants that came to England to live there permanently to work, but they were definitely, in terms of the Chinese people, they were definitely the minority compared to the students in the cities. I mean, I remember in Sheffield I heard we had like 3,000 Chinese people there. I don't know if that's even correct or not, but it definitely seemed like it because there were a lot of Chinese students there, a lot more than BYU. There's not really that many Chinese students here, but in England there's a lot that come as foreign exchange students to mainly study. A lot of them studied master's degrees, but there were people that came and studied undergraduate as well. So we ended up a lot talking to people on the street a lot of the time in the cities, walking around in areas where there were a lot of students and meeting people and inviting them to learn more. We'd oftentimes offer to help people with English, maybe correcting their papers, because a lot of them struggled with English, just obviously because it's their second language, and especially when you're writing at a university level, it's not super easy even for me, who's I've grown up speaking English my whole life and I have to work hard at it. So I can imagine that it's not easy for other people. But yeah, a lot of the times whenever we were looking for people to teach, we'd do we called it street contacting, and met a ton of people doing that, as well as just talking to people that we had met and saying, hey, what other friends do you have that might be interested to come to church and things. So that was really cool for sure. I think one of my worries before I came to my mission was thinking, am I able to learn Chinese if I'm not in a place where a lot of people speak Chinese? And I was really happy to find out, especially I think truly with the gifts of the Spirit, with the gift of tongues, you can learn the language. And I mean, I'm still studying it, I'm still learning it, but I was able to learn it at such a faster rate than I thought that was possible. I definitely recognized that there was power beyond my own that was helping me to learn it. And so that was really a really special experience for me. So if anyone is wondering that, I think they should definitely know that even if you're called to Australia or wherever else, that you can definitely learn even Chinese, as crazy of a different language that is, you can learn it in another country. And the Lord really knows what he's doing when he calls people to other countries learning different languages. So that was really cool to see. So we met a lot of Chinese people. There's a lot of success, a lot of great Chinese people that we met. It's exciting to be a part of that work and to see, even though China's not open, to see them getting to go back to China and participate there. I tried a lot of interesting Chinese foods, probably a lot more adventurous than the English foods that I had. English food is, although it's something unique and different to American food, Chinese food is definitely a lot more different than English food to American food. And the weirdest thing that I probably had was duck tongue. It wasn't even bought in England. There was this person that we knew, a friend, and she had her mom send her some barbecued duck tongue in like this Ziploc bag. And I remember her pulling out and thinking, what is that? And she offered it to us and told us what it was. And I only did it because my companion would do it. And we ended up eating it on the count of 3, and it was really weird. I don't necessarily recommend it, but it's fun to try. And I tried some other interesting things. I tried chicken gizzard. That was really spicy. I tried a lot of stomach. The first time I ate stomach was really weird, and then I kind of got used to it. I didn't have it all the time when I ate Chinese food, but a fair number of times. In general, though, there was one thing that all the missionaries in our mission really wanted to try if they ever got to go on an exchange with us or something, is eating something called hot pot, or 火锅 in Chinese. It's basically where you have this boiling pot of water in the middle of the table, and you just put in a whole bunch of different stuff into it to cook it: vegetables, tofu, seafood, slices of lamb or beef or chicken, and it's really, really good. I love it. There's different sauces that you can kind of cook things in as well. So sometimes you can eat really spicy hot pot, or sometimes not really spicy if you're not a fan of spicy food. As well as in your bowls when you take stuff out of the hot pot with your chopsticks, which is kind of a good chopsticks practice, by the way. Trying to fish out things with the chopsticks. And there's different sauces that you can try as well. You know, I love one that was like a peanut butter, or sometimes what's it called? Soy butter, like soy. Is it called soy seed? That's a soy seed, right? Or
Soy sauce?
no, what's that thing called? It's a nut, but it's not peanut butter. It's soy milk. Yeah, it's a soy nut, right? Yeah. So they have like a soy sauce. It's like a soy sauce, but it's not like it's like soy butter. It's kind of like peanut butter, but it's made out of soy nuts instead of peanut butter. So that was kind of cool. But anyways, there's different sauces you can try with hot pot, and it was pretty good. When I was in the MTC, there were missionaries that went to Australia speaking Chinese, and New Zealand, Canada, the U.S., France, Switzerland, and Singapore, and just all over the place. So I didn't even realize that there were so many Chinese missionaries spread around. But it's kind of like a unique thing that's happening just because since China's not open, there's still a lot of Chinese people that get baptized outside of China, get to go back and worship in the branches there. So one thing I forgot to mention is that, so as a Chinese-speaking missionary in the England Leeds Mission, basically, so it's not, being a Chinese speaker in England, it's not like its own little mission. I was in the Leeds mission with a lot of other English missionaries, English-speaking missionaries, and we actually had a couple Polish missionaries as well. But we had about, when I was there at the beginning, we had about 140 missionaries, and then with the age change and the surge of missionaries, we increased by about, I know the cap was increased to 100, and I know there was probably at least 200 missionaries by the time that I left. So that was really exciting to be there at that time. But there was about, out of the 140 originally, there were about 10 Chinese-speaking missionaries. And so then we were kind of spread around the big cities there, where there were a lot of Chinese people. And I actually never served with a native companion from mainland China or from Taiwan. There were some Taiwanese missionaries, though, in our mission. And there was actually an elder that was from Guangdong in mainland China, which was pretty cool. And but I never served with a native speaker, which was fine. And I served a lot of the times. I did serve with a couple other Chinese-speaking missionaries that were American, and I think they were all American, yeah. And another cool thing was, but that we actually, most of the time, I served with English-speaking missionaries. So we had one Chinese speaker and one English speaker as a companionship, and it actually worked out well. I mean, I know sometimes the English-speaking companion, if we spoke a lot of Chinese in a lesson, he might not have gotten to speak as much, but we still definitely made it so that they can share their testimony and share things in that way. So that was kind of interesting. I didn't expect that or think about that before, but yeah, sometimes you're paired up with English-speaking missionaries and just whatever the mission needs, I guess. They could switch back to having Chinese companions with Chinese companions, but that was kind of a cool thing, for sure.